Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this impromptu compliance session. It's an urgent issue that I need to communicate to you, and it concerns social media, which has become a hot topic, I know, in recent months. We've been looking at activity by employees on social media, and Richard, I know you, for example, have, I think, 20,000 followers on LinkedIn and another 10,000 or whatever's on Twitter. That's a very large number of people. And basically what we've got to do now is get a control of this. There's a huge risk to the organization. If you put messages out there on our behalf, there's risks of market manipulation, inappropriate conversations with clients, and other matters of a reputational risk, let alone legal risk, that we need to get a handle on. So from now on, we need to have a control of this. So every single interaction on social media, you will need to get approval for. So from now on, you cannot do any further social media communication without getting clearance from us in advance.
Christian, can we just talk about this a little bit before we go ahead and essentially shut down our social media engagements?
So, Richard, I'd love to discuss it, but one question for you. Are you using your corporate mobile devices to do this stuff?
I am, as well as my corporate computer when I post, sure.
Okay, well, we're done with this discussion because that's inappropriate as well. Thanks for joining this compliance working group. I wanted to get you all together because I wanted to tackle the subject of social media. I know it's something that many of you are using for professional purposes. And before we create internal policy on it, I wanted to get your views on it. Now, the reason I think it's important is that there are a huge amount of risks associated with social media. There's market manipulation risk, there's inappropriate, unmonitored conversations, you are representing the company publicly, so huge host of risks there. But before I put together a policy, I thought I would reach out to those of you that I know are active users to get your viewpoints so that I can understand where you're coming from when you're using it.
That sounds great, Christian. I'm very active on social media. I've got 21,000 LinkedIn followers, almost 10,000 on Twitter. I'd enjoy the opportunity to help you understand what we can do and how social media can be an asset if you'd be interested.
Richard, I would love that. You can teach me all about Twitbook and Linked Out, and I can find out more about how this works. That would be great.
Looking forward to it. So, how about we have an offline boot camp? I'll get your account set up and we'll start from there.
Sounds great. Okay, so that was a classic compliance situation. I, in my former character, have identified a huge risk. And of course, the risks that I cited were absolutely genuine. There's a huge amount of potential danger in having employees doing things that either are or appear to be in the company's name. So the risks I talked about, absolutely legitimate and genuine, but I'm not sure the approach that I adopted of just laying down the law and creating policy without understanding former Richard's perspective was a particularly smart way to go about it. What do you think, Richard?
I agree, Christian. I mean, the unknowns on social media from a compliance perspective can easily work yourself into a nightmarish situation with DMs and PMs and uncontrolled communications. Yes, there's a tremendous amount of risk involved, but there's also a potential asset, right? And social media can be a wonderful way, especially right now in our virtual world, for compliance and commercial teams to connect, to follow one another, to see what we're talking about, and to really learn more about one another and each other's perspective through social media. So yes, there have to be appropriate controls because everyone's social media account, like it or not, we are all brand ambassadors. But with those proper controls through, as we talked about, getting to know one another and how social media works, this can be a wonderful way for commercial and compliance teams to connect.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, Richard. I think it shouldn't just be seen as a risk. It's a great opportunity, as you say, not just for marketing the organization externally, but actually for interactions within the organization itself. So super powerful stuff. Very, very complicated. The good news, Richard, for those of people watching this video, is that you and I have spent quite a lot of time on social media, understanding it, looking at how the dynamics operate. And what we can do, if viewers are interested in this, is host a little bit of a social media boot camp for them and their team. So if anybody's interested in that, all they need to do is to get in touch with us and we can put that together. So with all of that said, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. And I love to host with Christian, a social media, maybe pre-holiday boot camp. Sounds like a wonderful idea, Christian.
Great stuff, Richard. We'll see everybody on another video very soon.